What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is our Premier League predictions for this week, kind of, because there's fixtures literally all over the place, pretty much every single day, and to say it's a bit confusing the way it's all been done is, yeah, it goes without saying. The last game that was cancelled was the Merseyside derby, which was Everton against Liverpool. Yet they don't play until Sunday and there's games ahead. So it doesn't really make sense how the Premier League have done it, but less said about that, the better. Anyway, let's be happy. The Premier League is back, and it starts with Aston Villa against Sheffield United. A game that, look, two teams that are very different ends of the Premier League table since being promoted. I think Sheffield United are 7th and Aston Villa are 18th with a game in hand. And, right, so let's just talk about this game. Villa are the home team, and as a result of that, in my opinion, they've obviously got the advantage. Now, it's in an empty stadium, which takes the advantage away. However, it's just being familiar with your surroundings, you know, your normal routines, maybe the way that you put your boots on, maybe the place that you sit in the dressing room, all of that is the same as you would do for a normal home game. The other big advantage for Villa going into this game is obviously they did a lot of signings in a short period of time. Now, yes, they haven't been training together for a long time, especially since January, but what this has enabled them is maybe to grow closer as a team, you know, more Zoom meetings with the players literally on a daily basis, having that break where they were not training, so maybe they've got fitter. McGinn is back, which is a massive addition to that Villa team. So Villa go into this game probably in a better way than they would have gone into it if they'd have played it 12 weeks ago. So for the result, for that reason, I'm going for a Villa win. Sheffield United will do exactly what they do every game, irrespective of when they play. They work hard, they graft, they're overlapping centre-backs. You know, they've got a good goalkeeper in Henderson. They've got a strong team that works hard to simply get the ball and put it in the back of the net. And they'll happily take a 1-0 win. But for me, yeah, I think Villa win this game 2-1. Manchester City against Arsenal. Did you know that Manchester City have won their last 6 games against Arsenal? I didn't. However, Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 7 away games. They've won 1 and they've drew 6. So this game could be quite an interesting game. Look, I think for Arsenal, what they've got to do is get at the back 4 of Manchester City. We all know that is Manchester City's weak point. If you can't get at the back 4, you're in trouble. In terms of players that obviously help Arsenal, obviously all of them are forward players. You know, Aubameyang, Lacazette, depending on who he plays in midfield. It's whether they get the ball forward. And Arsenal go into this game, in my opinion, probably a little bit better than, again, they would have if they'd have played this game back in March. And the reason for that is it gives Pepe a little bit longer to change and climatise to the Premier League. It gives some of the players that Arsenal have had, the younger lads like Saka, opportunity to progress. But look, for me, there's only one winner in this. I think Arsenal do score. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was Aubameyang, because I think he scored 49 Premier League goals in 75 games, which is a phenomenal record. But for me, it's Manchester City 3-1. No problem at all. Norwich against Southampton. Now, this is a game that really genuinely would have been able to go either way. Southampton looked like they were in serious trouble up until about December, and they pulled it clear. And this was one of the results that helped them in December, which was a 2-1 win over Norwich in the reverse fixture at St Mary's. But this is a different game. Look, Norwich probably know they're down, and all this has done is prolong the experience, probably financially hurt them a little bit more as well as a result, so they don't really want that. I think this is a draw. I think there's a draw all over it. Pukki started really well at the start of the season, and it just hasn't continued. They've got some good players, Max Aarons, Todd Cantwell, Pukki, usually. I love the lad in midfield as well, Degana or whatever his name is. Very good player. But just everywhere else on Norwich's sides, they're just not good enough. And as a result, they will get relegated. And I don't think they're going to win this game. So I'm going a 1-1 draw. Spurs against Manchester United. Look, this season for both teams has been a bit of a write-off. They've had bad seasons. Solskjaer obviously coming from Man United at the tail end of, well, not tail end really, what was it, February last year, something like that. And he's done okay for a player, for a manager who has only had one really bad experience in the Premier League, and that was with Cardiff. He's done okay. Man United fans won't accept okay. Then you look at Tottenham. Tottenham had Pochettino, who I think the less said about Poch, the better, because the dressing room did seem to change under Poch. Then they brought in Mourinho, which was only ever going to go one way, and that was bad. So I really don't know what to say about this game. There's not many pros to both teams, and I say that what they're aiming for. You know, obviously they're better than the majority of the teams in the league, but they're not as good as where they want to be, and they're nowhere near it. You know, Man United defensively at the back are poor. Maguire, 70-odd million, or 80-odd million, whatever it was, poor. You know, he's not done it for me. You look across the back four, whoever plays next to him is usually not good enough, whether it's Lindelof or whoever. Then the full-back positions, Luke Shaw doesn't fill me with any confidence whatsoever. So I look at Man United and I just think, again, if you get their back four, they're anyone's. I look at Spurs and I think Spurs defensively are more sound. They're better. They've had goalkeeper issues. Lloris hasn't had a great season and subsequently was dropped. Midfield, they lost Eriksen, and I don't think they ever really replaced him. They bought him Ndombele, Celso. None of them have really hit the mark. Gelson Fernandes, 2-year loan, not cut it. So Spurs are also in this transition period, but they're only getting worse under Mourinho. So for me, look, I think either team in this game, Spurs obviously not so much as a home team, but I think if you offered this team a 1-1 draw right now, I think both teams would take it. Watford against Leicester now. Leicester City. Let's talk about Leicester a little bit. Leicester have had a phenomenal season and have done great all over the park. You know, they knew last season they needed to keep Tielemans, so they made it happen. They'd already signed Maddison, which was a great signing. They've got Ndidi, who sits behind that. Then they've got quality at the back in players like Ricardo, Soyuncu, Evans. Leicester City are a good team. And people need to probably appreciate that. Iheanacho found a little bit of form. Jamie Vardy knows where the net is. And Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, as much as most Everton fans will hate to say it. So Leicester, for me, go into this game against Watford as firm favourites. They obviously beat Villa in the last game as well. 4-0. It was an absolute twatting. But this period of time will help the teams like Watford, who, you know, Watford... It's been a weird season for them because for so long they looked like they were going down, and then changing the manager has really helped them because obviously they've changed it a couple of times, but bringing Pearson in is a good move because he knows the club. He not necessarily knows the club, sorry. He knows how to win. He knows how to get results when he needs to, and he did it with Leicester. He kept them up. And then Leicester went and won the title the year after. So he knows how to keep teams up. Now I'm not expecting Watford to you know, win the league next season. But I do think they'll have more of a chance of staying up with Nigel Pearson than anyone else. So, look, I'm going first game back in this one. I'm going a draw. I'm going a boring draw. I'm going a 0-0. But I do hope I'm wrong. For some ridiculous reason, Arsenal then play again. And I don't quite get this, but it's just the way that the fixtures have been done. But so it's Brighton against Arsenal, a game that, look, Brighton are at home, Arsenal away again. I really do think it depends what happens with Arsenal's game against Man City, how they go into this game. If they get a total dicking, Brighton could go into this game, first game back at home again. Yes, no fans, but you know, it's better playing at home. I think Arsenal could win this. I think Arsenal could win this. I think they're more than good enough to beat Brighton. But I don't think they'll beat Brighton. I know they're good enough and I know they can apply it on the pitch. But Brighton need points. They need points. And I just think that games against the bigger teams, Brighton get up for, the players get up for, the manager gets up for, and I've just seen Brighton will pull something out the bag here. So I'm going 2-0 Brighton. West Ham against Wolves. Now this is not a good game for West Ham, and the reason for that is they won't deal with the pace of Wolves. They just won't. It doesn't matter when you play them, they won't. I also think West Ham have lost their last 3 against Wolves without even scoring. So I'm not hopeful for West Ham in this game. The reverse fixture was a win for Wolves. I think Wolves will go there with confidence. They'll be strong. They'll set up with pace. They've got Jimenez up front. They will hurt them. You know, there's no doubt about it. And when you go into specific match facts, and you know, I just want to reel something off for you. If you go into the actual teams and you break down the key positions of each team, you know, say I pick out the big names. Say I'll pick out the big names for each team, right? So, West Ham have got Haller and Bowen. Wolves have got Jimenez, Jota, Traore. All of those players are dangerous. I do not think that the front 2 of West Ham are as good. And then we go back into the Wolves midfield. We've got people who can win the ball, break up play, Ruben Neves, Matinho, Dendoncker. And you look at that and you think, yeah, good midfield. And I look at theirs, I look at West Ham's and I think, look, West Ham on paper have got better names, but they don't perform. Declan Rice, Jack Wilshere, Funals, Noble, Snodgrass, Lazzini, Anderson. That's a place that West Ham could arguably say, you know what, we've got a phenomenal midfield, but they never fucking turn up. So they'll get outrunning midfield as well. And then we go into defence, and look, if you look at the West Ham defence, it's an absolute shit show. So I'm not even going to compare Wolves to West Ham. But when you've got players like Zabaleta playing regularly for you at fucking 57 years old, I'm sorry, something's gone wrong there. And then the goalkeepers. Fabianski is a decent goalkeeper, but again, I don't think he's a Raul Patricio. So, look, West Ham in this game just get beat all over the park, and I think Wolves win this game comfortably 2-0. Bournemouth against Palace. This is a game that on paper I'd be excited to watch because I think both teams have got good players. You know, Wilfried Zaha for Palace, Wilson, Fraser for Bournemouth, and I look at them and I think, yeah, it's good, 2 good teams. They've also got the young lad in Bournemouth side, I forget his name, but he's a good player, plays in the centre of the park. But it's been disappointing seasons, I would say, for both teams. Bournemouth flirting with relegation. Palace flirted with it for a while. If you want one of these cups, go to the website. We've got them. They're on sale. 11 quid. Bargain. But I expect this game will be shite. And I really do. I think it'll be shit. I think start to finish this game will be boring. I think both teams, the fact they attack so much, although to some people that'll go, oh yeah, there's going to be loads of goals in this game, I just don't think there will be. The reverse fixture of this was 1-0 to Palace back in December. I'm expecting a similar result, so I'm going 0-0. I'm going 0-0 Palace Bournemouth. Newcastle, Sheffield United. Now, Newcastle, look, they've got a lot going on in the background, takeover potential, you know, lots of money to spend in a transfer window, etc. You know, they've been linked with Jack Grealish today for £75 million. And I'm not saying Jack Grealish isn't worth that. I'm just saying it's a lot of money for a team like Newcastle, who were shite for so long. They go against this Sheffield United side, which, as I said earlier, they just work hard. You know, they're a difficult player to play again because, you know, they have their centre-backs like Ludstrom, who comes in from midfield or centre-back, and he just makes these runs that just really hurt teams. And Sheffield United are a team that can easily go to St James's Park and get a result. We all know about the discontent with Newcastle and the board and the manager. So, look, the fact that there's no fans in that stadium is probably going to help Newcastle. But I still don't think they win. I still don't think they're good enough. You know, I don't look at a single position on Newcastle's side and go, yeah, I'd love you. You know, they've got some decent players. St Maximan, you know, who can literally do everything. You know, he can skin 17 players and make you a cup of tea at the same time. But he doesn't do enough. Doesn't score enough. They spent big in the summer on a striker. he's done nothing. You know, so I look at this and I just think, yeah, I'm not confident. I'm not confident for them to get a result. However, Newcastle managed to get a result against them in December. So this is why I'm a bit torn. So look, Sheffield United, I think, win. I think they get revenge. And I think Sheffield United win this game 1-0. Right, we're going to the 4:15 game, Villa against Chelsea on Sunday. Look, Villa against Chelsea, that's a difficult game. Obviously, again, as discussed earlier, McGinn being back in that Villa side is massively important, but he hasn't played a competitive match for fucking ages. So, look, Chelsea's not the sort of team you want to be going up against. I think Chelsea win. I think Chelsea go to Villa and win. And I think it's going to be straightforward. I think it'll be a decent win as well. I expect Chelsea just to have too much pace, too much creativity, too much up front, you know, whether it be Giroud or Tammy Abraham, or whoever plays up front for West Ham. I expect them to really, for Chelsea, I expect them to really, really hurt Villa. Look, I'm going 3-0 Chelsea. Everton against Liverpool at Goodison Park. A game that was the last game that would have been shown in the Premier League if football wasn't basically terminated from Monday. Where do I start with Everton Liverpool? Obviously, this is a game where Liverpool could win the title. And they could win the title at Goodison Park. In a game, look, I'm not arsed. I couldn't give a toss about them winning the title at Goodison in front of nobody. Whatever. What I will say is, look, Liverpool absolutely twatted us back in December 5-2. A game that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. But not many teams have scored 2 goals past Liverpool, and we did. Since then, Marco Silva's been sacked. Duncan Ferguson come in and installed some real passion, some real fight into that Everton side. Got some good results against some good teams. And then the main man, the Don, Carlo Ancelotti, walked into Everton Football Club. And I'm telling you right fucking now, there's no way that he will make Everton have as shit a performance against Liverpool as we did back in December. I think Everton win this game. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I know people are going to say that because I'm an Everton fan. But the simple fact of the matter is, Everton have to be able to exploit the areas that Liverpool are weak in. And people are going to say, look, where are they weak? They've got a world-class goalkeeper. They've got 2 world-class centre-backs in. Well, they've probably got 3 if you want. I don't think he's world-class. But you've got Van Dijk, who's definitely, if not, one of the best defenders in the world. You've got Gomez and Matip, who would certainly get into any Premier League side. Then in the middle of the park, you've got Henderson, Wijnaldum, and whoever they want to stick in there, which is good. With players like Oxlade-Chamberlain, who adds a little bit of pace into it, dangerous. And then up front, they've got Mane and Salah. I'm not asked about Firmino. I don't think he's any good. I think he's certainly overrated. But I look at that Liverpool team and I think, yeah, it's difficult to play. And you almost have to play them at their own game. And this is what teams were doing toward the end of last season. You know, I think Watford did it. Crystal Palace managed to do it. You know, teams were sort of getting results against Liverpool from playing the Liverpool way. And Everton, they can't be ashamed about this. Everton have to play the Liverpool way, have to be in at them, have to be aggressive. Now, Everton's issue is going to be they've had some injuries. We've got some injuries. Looks like Morgan Schneiderlin's leaving as well. So the midfield could look completely different to normal. But look, I think Everton go into this game, and I'm not going to go too much on about this because John is doing the match preview for this on Thursday. But I think Everton win this game, and I'll go 2-0 Everton. The last game I'm going to talk about in this video is Monday, the 22nd of June, which is a week today. Is a game against Manchester City, against Burnley at the Etihad. Look, again, I feel like there's only one winner in this game. And this is a game that, if I just go into some of the stats for the Man City game, and I like talking through these while we're doing it, but Man City tend to score quite a lot of goals against Burnley. So back in December, they scored 4 at Turf Moor. Then they only scored 1 at Turf Moor. Then they beat them 5-0, October 18. Then in October 17, they beat them 3-0. Man City tend to score some goals against Burnley, and I expect exactly the same in this game. I think this game is going to be pretty brutal, and I'm going 4-0 Man City. And I'm not even going to bother talking about the teams. Man City are just better in every single department, and I really can't see Burnley doing anything. I really can't. I just can't. They might as well just not bother turning up. 4-0. Do it on FIFA. Take the forfeit. Go 3-0. Fuck it. Because I'm telling you now, Burnley get fuck all out of this game. 4-0.